Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I am doing a new Kerbal Space Program video, a new kind. This is a challenge I kind of did, not on Reddit though, where I built a SSTO space plane using only toroidal aerospike engines, which are rocket engines for those of you that didn't know. And the idea was to get it into orbit and back was just with those, which is like pretty simple, you know. So here we are. We're doing our ascent, and we are going to get into orbit. We're currently going at about 320 meters per second, and we're just slowly climbing. And yeah, the footage is sped up by about 2 times, by the way, just to help keep the video within the upload limit, and also to speed things up so nobody gets too bored. So now at this point I'm bringing open the map. My apoapsis is about 31,000 meters at this moment. We're approaching the speed that would get us into space at this point, but not into orbit yet. We're on a suborbital trajectory pretty much now. So this part of the mission, this is probably the most challenging part, because as you can see, we only have about 295 or 241 units of fuel left, which is not much. It's not much. So what you see I'm doing here now is I'm trying to get as close to my apoapsis as possible and doing a burn without passing it, because if I pass my apoapsis at this point, then I'm just going to fall back down and it's not going to be good. So now you can see that I'm just trying to do multiple burns to get into orbit, and I'm very low on fuel, so I'm just trying to milk this thing for all it's worth as far as fuel goes. This thing can't really get into space unless you fly it as efficiently as possible. As you can see there, I've shown you just how little fuel I have left. So you're probably thinking, Analytic, you maniac, how are you going to get this thing back down? Like, it doesn't have enough fuel to get back to the launch pad. Well, I'm glad you asked. Most people probably already know this, but I'm going to use a technique called lithobraking, or lithobraking, aerobraking, whatever you want to call it. Because I've clearly made my orbit as low as I possibly could, and since I made it as low as I possibly could without tumbling back into the atmosphere like a raging idiot, I'm just going to burn the little fuel I have left, and my mass is also very low, as you can see there. I'm going to burn the little fuel I have left, and the air drag is just going to progressively lower my periapsis more and more until it becomes my apoapsis, I think. And the air drag is just going to carry me back to the ground. Yeah, so you can see I'm already out of fuel. And the air drag is going to carry me back to the ground, and I'm basically just going to hope to God, or hope to the Kraken, whatever, that I don't land in the Pacific Ocean, the Kerbal Ocean, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to hope that I can reach land before my speed drops, because once again I'm out of fuel. I have to glide down, which is, for a space plane rookie, I am still somewhat of a rookie, by the way. For someone like me, flying a space plane, that is very, very risky. And I also vastly overestimated my re-entry trajectory. I assumed I might be able to hit the landing pad, but I think I've probably already gone over it by now. So yeah, you can see that we're just beginning our re-entry. I'm trying to hold this thing at radial out so that I can maximize the air drag so that and I'm trying to maximize my air drag in order to slow down as quickly as possible, which, contrary to what some might think, will actually reduce overheating on the ship, because instead of staying at higher speeds for longer, we're going to be staying at higher speeds for a shorter amount of time because we're slowing down faster. This is basically just technical gobbledygook for some of you watching, but whatever. So I'm just trying to hold my position, just keep periodically checking the map. You can see that it appears I'm going to hit land, although don't get too confident. We're not out of the woods yet. So at this point you can see the hull is starting to overheat, and yeah, nice sunrise. We're still holding our position, and this is an interesting thing I found with this design that I have tried to mimic. I've tried to replicate in other designs but haven't quite been able to, which I assume is due to the weight of the ship relative to the torque the cockpit is able to apply, the SAS, because this thing is basically just able to just smoothly hold its position on the nav ball just perfectly. No wobbling, no spinning out of control, nothing. It just holds it like that, and it just looks amazing. But I haven't been able to replicate that, unfortunately. So I assume for a Mark II cockpit design, you'd need to keep your spaceplane under the 10-ton range for that, which isn't really practical, unfortunately. Maybe it is, but it's like you're not going to be able to do much with a ship that is only 10 tons when out of fuel or low on fuel. So at this point, you can see I'm desperately trying to turn this thing to get to the land mass over to the right, which is closer, and I'm losing a lot of speed. This is not good. This means if I'm not careful, I'm not going to be able to get there in time, and I will crash into the water, and this video will be rendered pointless. But since that would render the video pointless, I think you all know what's probably going to happen. I'm obviously going to make it because, well, if I didn't, I wouldn't be putting this video on YouTube, I wouldn't be dubbing my voice over it, and I wouldn't have edited it in the first place. So, yeah, we're just gliding back down. This is going to take a while, unfortunately, so it's going to be a bit tricky to keep interesting commentary on this part of the video, but so far I seem to be doing pretty well on that throughout the whole thing. So, yeah, our speed is about 126. You can see I have max time acceleration. I'm running out of electric charge. It didn't occur to me at this time that I should maybe deploy the solar panels in order to recharge, because I'm going slow enough that they're not going to get wiped clean off from aerodynamic forces. So yeah, stupid me. Stupid me, like, however many weeks in the past that I was working on this. Yeah, and you can see this hill up ahead. You're thinking, Analytic, you moron, you're going to crash. Well, no. Our speed is low enough that at this point I can safely assume I can just parachute back into the ground. Down to the ground, like that. Whammo. So that's everything. Thanks for watching.